The single dad agreed to his boss's strange request, started a fake relationship, and then his entire life changed forever. I never thought pretending to be in love would lead me to actually finding it, Marcus whispered as he watched his daughter twirl in her flower girl dress. Tears welled in his eyes, remembering how just 1 year ago, he was drowning in debt, struggling to keep his job, and raising Emma alone. If you're wondering how a fake relationship turned into the most genuine thing in my life, stick around. This story might just change the way you think about taking chances. If you enjoy stories about unexpected love and second chances, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming content that reminds us all that sometimes, the most unbelievable stories are the ones that actually happen. Marcus Collins stared at the email from his boss, reading it for the 5th time, convinced he must be misunderstanding something. The subject line was simple: urgent request, private matter. The content, however, was anything but simple. Marcus, I need someone I can trust for an unusual favor. My investor's daughter is visiting for 3 months, and her father is concerned about her safety in the city. He suggested she needs a companion during her stay, someone respectable, reliable, and preferably with family values. I immediately thought of you. This would involve attending several social events together and creating the appearance of a developing relationship. In return, I'm prepared to offer you the promotion you've been working toward, plus a significant bonus that could help with Emma's school fees. Please consider it and let's discuss tomorrow. Richard. The promotion. The bonus. Emma's school fees. Marcus ran his hand through his hair, glancing at the stack of bills on his kitchen counter. At 34, being a single father to an 8-year-old while trying to advance his career at Horizon Architectural Design wasn't easy. Since Diane had died 3 years ago, he'd been barely keeping his head above water. His daughter's voice broke through his thoughts. Dad, I need help with my science project. It's due tomorrow. Emma stood in the doorway of their small apartment kitchen, her curly hair pulled into uneven pigtails that she'd obviously done herself. She was wearing mismatched socks and her favorite space-themed pajamas, clutching a half-completed model of the solar system. Of course, sweetheart, Marcus said, closing his laptop. Let me see what we've got. As they worked together on Jupiter's rings, Marcus couldn't stop thinking about Richard's proposal. It was bizarre, unethical even. Pretending to date someone for business purposes? Creating a fake relationship to please an investor? It sounded like something from a bad movie. But then Emma mentioned how much she wanted to join the summer science camp all her friends were attending, the one that cost more than Marcus could afford on his current salary. Maybe next year, he said gently, watching her face fall slightly before she nodded with the resilience that sometimes broke his heart. That night, after tucking Emma in, Marcus sat on his balcony overlooking the city lights. His phone buzzed with a text from his sister, Nora. How are things? Need me to take Emma this weekend so you can catch up on work? Nora had been his lifeline since Diane passed. Without her help with Emma, he wouldn't have been able to keep his job at all. Actually, he typed back, I might have an opportunity for a promotion. But it's complicated. 3 dots appeared as she typed her response. Complicated how? How could he even explain this? My boss wants me to pretend to date someone for business reasons. The 3 dots appeared and disappeared several times before her response came through. Is that even legal? Sounds sketchy. It's not illegal. Just unusual. But the money would solve a lot of problems. What would you be teaching Emma if you do this? That question haunted him as he tried to sleep. What lesson would this teach his daughter? That it's okay to pretend to be something you're not for money? That relationships are transactional? But wasn't he already teaching her that some dreams have to wait because of money? That her father couldn't provide what other parents could? The next morning, after dropping Emma at school, Marcus walked into Richard's corner office with his decision. I'll do it, he said, before he could change his mind. But I have conditions. It can't interfere with my time with Emma. And I need to know exactly what's expected of me. Richard's relief was visible. Of course. Sophia arrives tomorrow. She's 28, just completed her PhD in environmental engineering, and according to her father, has terrible taste in men. He's worried she'll fall in with the wrong crowd here. All you need to do is accompany her to some events, show her around the city, maybe have dinner a few times a week. Make it look convincing enough that her father believes she's in good hands. And she's agreed to this arrangement? Richard looked uncomfortable. She knows her father wants her to meet someone suitable. She doesn't know we've pre-selected you. Marcus felt his stomach turn. So I'm supposed to trick her? Think of it as an introduction with some incentive on your part. You don't have to actually date her if there's no chemistry. Just keep her occupied and away from the type of men her father disapproves of. It felt wrong on so many levels, but when Richard mentioned the specific numbers for the bonus, enough to cover Emma's school fees for the next 2 years, plus the science camp, Marcus found himself nodding. I'll meet her tomorrow, but I'm not promising anything beyond that. If she's uncomfortable or if this feels too dishonest, I'm out. Richard agreed, and Marcus left the office feeling like he'd just made a deal with the devil. That evening, as he helped Emma with her homework, his phone pinged with an email. It contained Sophia Chen's details and a photo. Marcus nearly dropped his phone. The woman in the picture wasn't what he'd expected. He'd imagined someone spoiled and privileged, but the woman smiling back at him had kind eyes and a natural, unposed quality. She was standing next to what looked like a community garden project, wearing work gloves and a simple t-shirt, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. "Who's that, Dad?" Emma asked, peering at his phone. "Just someone from work," he said quickly, putting the phone away. "How's that math coming along?" Later that night, he researched Sophia online and found articles about her environmental work in developing countries, her research on sustainable urban planning, and her volunteer efforts with youth science programs. She seemed genuine, passionate, and nothing like the socialite he'd imagined. This made everything worse. Tricking someone who seemed so authentic felt even more dishonest. The next day, Richard arranged for them to accidentally meet at a coffee shop near the office. Marcus arrived early, nervously rehearsing what he might say, when she walked in. In person, Sophia Chen had a presence that her photo hadn't captured. She moved with confidence but without pretension, thanking the barista by name as she ordered her coffee. When Richard made the introductions, her handshake was firm, her smile genuine. "Marcus is one of our most talented project managers," Richard said. "I thought you two might have some common interests, especially with your work in urban sustainability." "Oh?" Sophia looked interested. "What kind of projects do you work on?" Before Marcus could answer, Richard's phone rang. "I have to take this. Why don't you two get acquainted?" He stepped away, leaving them alone, exactly as planned. "I'm working on integrating green spaces into commercial developments," Marcus said, surprised at how easily the conversation started. "Nothing as impressive as your research, though. I read about your work in Singapore." "You did?" She looked genuinely surprised. "Most people's eyes glaze over when I talk about sustainable urban ecosystems. I have an 8-year-old daughter who's obsessed with science. She's got me interested in how things work together, ecosystems, cities, communities." Something in Sophia's expression softened. "You have a daughter? What's her name?" "Emma. She's the center of my universe." "And her mother?" Sophia asked carefully. "She passed away 3 years ago. Cancer." "I'm so sorry," Sophia said, and the genuine empathy in her voice made Marcus's guilt intensify. This wasn't going according to plan. He was supposed to be charming her, not having a real conversation. "It's been difficult, but Emma is resilient. Kids adapt better than adults sometimes." Their coffee stretched into lunch as they discovered shared interests in architecture, environmental science, and even the same obscure indie band. Not once did Marcus have to pretend to be interested, he genuinely was. When they finally parted ways, Sophia hesitated. "This might be forward, but would you and Emma like to join me this weekend? There's a science exhibition at the Natural History Museum that's supposed to be amazing for kids." Marcus felt a pang of guilt. This wasn't supposed to happen so quickly or feel so natural. "Emma would love that," he said truthfully. "And so would I." As he watched Sophia walk away, Marcus realized he hadn't thought about the promotion or the bonus once during their conversation. He'd simply enjoyed her company. That evening, when Richard called to check in, Marcus felt uncomfortable discussing Sophia as if she were part of a business transaction. "It went well," he said simply. Uncomfortable discussing Sophia as if she were part of a business transaction. "It went well," he said simply. "We're taking Emma to the museum this weekend." "Perfect." Richard sounded delighted. "Her father will be pleased to hear she's spending time with a responsible family man instead of those artist types she usually gravitates toward." The comment bothered Marcus more than it should have. "She seems perfectly capable of choosing her own friends." Of course," Richard backpedaled. "Just keep up the good work. Remember what's at stake." What was at stake, Marcus realized as he hung up, was more than a promotion or bonus. It was his integrity, his example to Emma, and now, potentially, Sophia's feelings. The museum outing changed everything. Watching Sophia interact with Emma, patiently explaining exhibits, asking thoughtful questions, genuinely delighting in his daughter's curiosity, Marcus felt something shift inside him. Emma, who was usually shy around new adults, bloomed under Sophia's attention. "Your dad tells me you're interested in space," Sophia said as they examined a meteorite display. "I want to be an astronaut scientist," Emma declared. "I'm going to study the rocks on Mars." "That's an excellent plan," Sophia said seriously. "Have you heard about the new Mars soil analysis they're doing?" Emma's eyes widened. "No. Tell me." As Sophia explained in terms Emma could understand, Marcus watched them together and felt a warmth he hadn't experienced in years. This wasn't pretend. This was real connection, and it terrified him. Over the next few weeks, their arrangement evolved into something that felt increasingly authentic. They attended the investor dinners and charity galas Richard had planned, but they also spent quiet evenings at Marcus's apartment, helping Emma with projects or simply talking after she went to bed. Sophia shared stories about growing up with the pressure of her father's expectations, always feeling she needed to prove herself despite her accomplishments. Marcus told her about his struggles as a single parent, trying to balance work and family while still processing his grief. "Sometimes I feel like I'm failing at everything," he admitted one night as they sat on his small balcony. "Not advancing fast enough at work, not present enough for Emma, not dealing with losing Diane properly." "From what I can see, you're doing an amazing job," Sophia said softly. "Emma is happy, secure, and kind. That doesn't happen by accident." Their hands found each other's in the darkness, and Marcus felt simultaneously comforted and guilty. Every moment of genuine connection was shadowed by the knowledge that their meeting had been orchestrated, that he had financial incentives for spending time with her. A month into their arrangement, Richard called Marcus into his office. "Chen is thrilled with how things are progressing between you and Sophia. He's ready to sign off on the expansion project, which means your promotion is secure. The bonus will be in your next paycheck." Marcus should have felt elated. Instead, he felt sick. "Richard, I need to tell Sophia the truth." Richard's smile disappeared. "That would be unwise. Her father is conservative and traditional. If he found out this was arranged, he'd pull his investment immediately. I can't keep lying to her. It's not right." "It's not a lie anymore, is it?" Richard asked shrewdly. "I've seen how you look at her. Whatever started as an arrangement has become genuine. Why complicate things by bringing up ancient history? Marcus left the office without resolving anything, the weight of his deception growing heavier. That weekend, Sophia suggested they take Emma camping, something his daughter had been begging to do for months but Marcus had never found the time for. Watching Sophia teach Emma how to set up a tent, identify constellations, and roast the perfect marshmallow, Marcus knew he was falling in love with her. That night, after Emma had fallen asleep in the tent, they sat by the dying campfire. "I need to tell you something," Marcus said, his heart pounding. Sophia looked at him expectantly, the firelight flickering across her face. "These past weeks have been the happiest I've had since Diane died. Being with you feels right in a way I didn't think was possible anymore." She smiled, reaching for his hand. "I feel the same way. But there's something you don't know." He took a deep breath. "Our meeting wasn't accidental. Richard arranged it because your father wanted someone to keep an eye on you while you were here." Sophia's hand stiffened in his. "What are you saying?" "Richard offered me a promotion and bonus to spend time with you, to create the appearance of a relationship that would satisfy your father's concerns about you being alone in the city." She pulled her hand away, her expression shifting from confusion to hurt to anger. "So this was all for money? Some kind of paid escort service?" "No. It started that way, but it changed. Everything I've shared with you, everything I feel for you, is real." "How can I believe that?" She stood up, wrapping her arms around herself. "How do I know what was real and what was performance? None of it was performance. Ask Emma. She adores you, and she can tell when people are being fake." "Don't bring Emma into this," Sophia said sharply. "She's innocent in all this deception." The word deception hit Marcus like a physical blow. "You're right. I should have told you from the beginning. I was desperate, for the promotion, for the money for Emma's school and activities. But that's no excuse." "No, it's not." Sophia's voice was cold now. "I trusted you. I told you things I've never told anyone about my father's expectations, my insecurities. Was that all just information gathering for your assignment?" "Of course not." "Sophia, please. I need to go." She started gathering her things. "It's the middle of the night in the wilderness. At least wait until morning. I'll sleep in the car." She paused, looking toward the tent where Emma slept. Tell her I had an emergency. Don't tell her the truth, that her father was paid to spend time with me." Before Marcus could respond, she was walking toward the parking area, her flashlight beam bouncing through the trees. He wanted to follow her but couldn't leave Emma alone. By morning, Sophia's car was gone, and Marcus had to explain to his confused and upset daughter that Sophia had to leave unexpectedly. "But she promised to show me how to use the compass today," Emma said, her lower lip trembling. "I know, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I can try to show you." "It's not the same," Emma said, and Marcus felt the full weight of what his deception had cost, not just his own chance at happiness, but Emma's as well. When they returned to the city, Marcus went straight to Richard's office. "I told her the truth," he said without preamble. "She's gone." Richard looked alarmed. "Gone where?" "Back to her father." "I don't know. She left in the middle of the night." "This is a disaster," Richard muttered. "Chen will pull his investment if he thinks we've upset his daughter." "Is that all you care about?" Marcus's voice rose. "I've lost someone I care about because of this scheme, and all you're worried about is the investment?" "Keep your voice down," Richard hissed. "The promotion and bonus are already processed. You got what you wanted. I don't want it. Not like this." Marcus placed his employee badge on Richard's desk. "I quit. Don't be dramatic. Where will you find another job that pays enough for a single father? Think about Emma. I am thinking about Emma. What kind of example am I setting if I stay here after what we did? Marcus walked out, ignoring Richard's calls to come back. He spent the next week trying to reach Sophia, calling, texting, emailing, but received no response. He even went to her temporary apartment, only to find she had moved out. Emma grew increasingly withdrawn, asking daily when Sophia would visit again. Marcus couldn't bring himself to tell her the full truth, saying only that he had made a mistake that hurt Sophia's feelings. Then say sorry, Emma said with the simple logic of children. When I hurt